So let's be real. You got into senior housing for all the right reasons, right? Aging demographics, supply constraints, durable income. I mean, the investment thesis is rock solid. You did your homework. You knew exactly what you were getting into.
But then that moment hits. You realize writing the check, that was the easy part. The hard part, the thing that actually keeps you up at night, is knowing what's really happening with your capital once it's out there.
So this whole explainer, it's about that gap, that huge chasm between the performance you modeled out and the visibility you actually have. And more importantly, we're going to talk about what happens, what really changes when you can finally close it for good.
Okay, so where does it all start? It starts with probably the most universal pain point for any capital provider. Just waiting for that quarterly email. You know exactly the one I'm talking about.
Think about it. For 90 long days, it's pretty much just silence. You're basically operating on faith, just hoping and assuming your portfolio's doing what it's supposed to do. You think it is, but do you really know? Not for sure. And then, finally, the reports land in your inbox. And what do you get? Well, one's a PDF. The next one is a completely different PDF from another operator. Then there's an Excel file that isn't linked to anything, and of course, it doesn't even match last quarter's format. And just like that, the chaos begins.
And this, right here, is the heart of the data dilemma. The formatting's all over the place, so you can't compare apples to apples. The data, it's already 45, maybe even 90 days out of date by the time you see it. So you're just getting a snapshot in time, not any kind of real trend analysis. And maybe the worst part of it all? The metrics are defined by the operator, which means you're not even speaking the same financial language across your own portfolio. It's madness.
And let's just be honest about what this means. You're being forced to make these critical, high-stakes decisions about holding, selling, or reinvesting your capital based on what is basically an old photograph. It's a fundamental, structural disadvantage. It's just not a fair fight.
And look, this isn't just some small inconvenience. This data problem creates a massive domino effect that puts your entire portfolio and your relationships with your operators at risk.
You know, there's actually a technical term for this. It's called information asymmetry. It's a fancy way of saying the operator knows things you don't. And even when everyone has the best intentions, this disconnect can turn what should be a solid partnership into something that feels, well, fragmented, almost adversarial even.
Okay, let's look at a real-world example. So in month 2, your operator spots an issue. Maybe occupancy is softening. But you don't see it until month 5, when that quarterly report finally comes out. By then, 3 crucial months have just vanished. That window of opportunity to jump in early and solve the problem together, it's slammed shut. Now the operator's on the defensive, and you're just frustrated.
And this is what you're left with. You're trying to manage a multi-million-dollar portfolio completely in the dark with a tiny flashlight you only get to turn on for a few minutes every 3 months. It's crazy, right? But what if you could just turn on the lights for good?
All right, this is the turning point. Let's talk about the solution. Let's talk about what it actually looks like to take off that blindfold and finally get the visibility your capital has always deserved. I mean, the difference here is just night and day. Forget about those random, inconsistent PDFs. Now, you get a real-time portfolio dashboard. That information asymmetry we talked about, it's replaced with shared operational visibility. All that time wasted on manual data normalization? Gone. Replaced by unified portfolio analytics. And that constant friction in your relationships, it transforms into a genuine operating partnership.
So what does that actually mean for you day to day? Well, standardized reporting means you can instantly compare your Memphis asset to your Denver asset, no problem. Early warning indicators mean that critical conversation about an issue, it happens in month 2, not month 5. You can finally see your entire portfolio as a single managed system.
And here's the absolute key to it all. Everything happens in one unified platform. No more jumping between spreadsheets, PDFs, and endless email chains. All the data, all the analytics, all the communication, it all lives in one single, coherent system. The chaos is finally over.
You know, this is about so much more than just fixing problems. This is about a fundamental shift in how you invest, moving from constantly reacting to fires to being proactive and truly strategic. Think about how this new visibility empowers every single stage of the investment lifecycle. You're not just waiting for brokers to call you anymore. You have AI actively matching you with off-market deals that perfectly fit your mandate. You're not just crossing your fingers and hoping you hit your numbers. You're monitoring performance against your underwriting in real time,
You can manage depreciation and those crucial 1031 tax-deferred exchanges proactively. And when it comes to selling, you're not guessing anymore. You're modeling scenarios to exit with maximum confidence at the absolute optimal moment.
Ultimately, it all comes down to this. The blindfold is off. The asset you own is finally truly visible. The operator you chose feels like a real partner, not someone on the other side of a wall. And your portfolio? It transforms from a collection of old photos into a living, breathing system you can act on every single day.
Which really leads to a final, pretty provocative question. What if all that frustration you felt, all that uncertainty, what if it wasn't a reflection of your investment thesis or the assets you chose? What if the quality of your investment was never the problem in the first place?
That gap, the one between what you invested in and what you could actually see, that was never your fault. It was just a reflection of the tools you were given. And now, finally, the tools have caught up.